Most students make this mistake. 1/3 plus 1/4 equals 2/7. But this is completely wrong. So how do we actually add fractions correctly? Let's make this simple. In this lesson, we will learn how to add and subtract fractions correctly, and understand why we cannot add them the way most students try to. This will help you avoid common mistakes and build a strong foundation. When we talk about adding or subtracting fractions, we come across two different scenarios. Number 1. When the denominators are the same. Number 2. When the denominators are different. We deal with these scenarios a bit differently. Let's talk about adding fractions with the same denominators first. Imagine a pizza, divided into 4 equal slices. You eat 1 slice, which is 1/4. Your friend eats 2 slices, which is 2/4. Now the question is, how much pizza was eaten in total? To answer that question, we need to add these fractions. And as we can see, this is scenario 1, where the denominators are the same. In this scenario, we simply add the numerators and keep the denominator the same. So, to add 1/4 and 2/4, first, add the numerators, that is 1 plus 2 equals to 3, and keep the same denominator. So, the answer is 3/4. Now let's visualize this. We had a pizza, divided into 4 equal slices. 1 slice was eaten by you, and 2 slices were eaten by your friend. If we combine them together, we get 3 slices out of 4. That means 3/4 of the pizza have been eaten. Let's try another example. 2/7 plus 3/7. Again, the denominators are the same. So we simply add the numerators. 2 plus 3 equals 5. And we keep the denominator the same. So the answer is 5/7. Now let's talk about subtracting fractions. The rule is almost the same. If the denominators are the same, we simply subtract the numerators and keep the denominator the same. For example, 3/5 minus 1/5. We subtract the numerators. 3 minus 1 equals 2. And keep the denominator 5. So the answer is 2/5. To understand this visually, let's imagine a chocolate bar, divided into 5 equal pieces. The whole chocolate bar can be written as 5/5, which equals 1 whole. Now suppose you eat 3 pieces, which is 3/5. Now the question is, how much chocolate is left? In order to get that, we need to subtract the fractions. 5/5 minus 3/5. 5 minus 3 equals 2, and we will keep the same denominator. So 2/5 of the chocolate bar is left. Now let's move to scenario number 2, where the denominators are different. Remember, in this case, we cannot add or subtract fractions directly. So, the rule here is, we must convert the fractions to a common denominator first, which means converting them to scenario 1, then we can easily add or subtract those fractions. For example, if we need to add or subtract 3/4 and 2/3. First we will convert them into 9/12 and 8/12. Now these new fractions have the same denominators, so we can easily perform the required operation, as we do in scenario 1. If we have to add them, we can add the numerators, and keep the denominator the same. So, the answer will be 17/12. And if we have to subtract them, we can subtract the numerators, and keep the denominator the same. So, the answer will be 1/12. But, the question is, how did we convert 2 fractions with different denominators into 2 fractions with the same denominator? Well, the answer is quite simple. We did that with the help of LCM. Least common multiple. First, we find the common denominator of the fractions using the LCM. Let's take the same example, 3/4 and 2/3. First write the multiples of the denominators. Multiples of 4 are 4, 8, 12, 16, and so on. Multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. The smallest number that appears in both lists is 12. So the LCM is 12, and that will be the denominator of our new fractions. Now we convert both fractions into equivalent fractions with a denominator, 12. To change 3/4 into a fraction with denominator 12, we multiply the numerator and denominator by 3. 3 times 3 equals 9, so the new fraction becomes 9/12. Now convert 2/3. To make the denominator 12, we multiply the numerator and denominator by 4. 2 times 4 equals 8, so the new fraction becomes 8/12. Now both fractions have the same denominator. So the new fractions are 9/12 and 8/12. Now you can convert any two fractions with different denominators into fractions with the same denominator. By the way, one important thing about LCM and product. Remember, the LCM is not always the product of two numbers. For example, 3 and 4. LCM is 12 and the product is also 12. But, in case of 4 and 6, LCM is 12, but the product is 24. So, keep this difference in mind. Be aware of this common mistake that some students make. They add both the numerators and the denominators. For example, 1/3 plus 1/4. They add both the numerators and the denominators and say the answer is 2/7. But that is incorrect. Remember, we never add denominators. In this case, we must first convert the fractions to the same denominator. 1/3 and 1/4 will be converted to 4/12 and 3/12. Then we will add only the numerators of these new fractions, and will keep the denominator the same. So, the correct answer will be 7/12. Now it's your turn. Try to solve 2/3 minus 2/5. Pause the video and try. Now, here is the solution. First convert them to the same denominator. Then subtract the numerators, and keep the same denominator. So, the answer is 4/15. One more. 1/4 plus 1/2. Pause the video and try. Now, here is the solution. First convert them to the same denominator. Then add the numerators and keep the same denominator. So, the answer is 3/4. To fully master fractions, continue learning related topics like fractions explained, converting mixed and improper fractions, simplifying fractions step by step, comparing fractions, equivalent fractions in detail, multiplying and dividing fractions, or browse the channel for the lesson you need. If this lesson helped you, subscribe to Core Concept Academy, where math and science become clear, simple, and logical. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Thanks for watching. See you in the next lesson.